And boom. All right, guys. Well, welcome to this amazing interview that we're gonna have here with Jose Campos, head of Orlando City Academy. Jose, thank you for joining us today. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much. I'm doing very well. I just came from MLS Next Fest, and it was good to see the players and the teams doing well.
So I've been hearing that Orlando City's making lots and lots of noise all over the country. Can you share real quick what the secret is?
There is no secret. There is no secret. To me, it's always a combination of, it's player development. At the end of the day, it's bringing raw, good talent into the academy and then trust the coaches and the strength and conditioning coaches and the goalkeeper coaches to do their job in developing these players. And you see the results in the long term. People look at results. Results are important, but at the end of the day, to get results, you need good players, and that's what we care about. No? We care about developing the best players in the country.
I love that. So since Orlando City recently has been making so much noise, I always get questions, and I'm pretty sure you always get the same questions. What is one of the key attributes that you look for in potential players playing for Orlando City? If you could break that down from like the goalkeeper position all the way to strikers, and we could start from as early as the under 12s to the under 19s.
We could be,
and
we could be here forever. And no, I think one attribute that it is important on youth soccer players is consistency. I think any player can have a good game. Same thing, every player can have a bad game. But if you consistently perform well, if you consistently are an A-plus player, no, an exceptional player, that is what will caught our eye. Anybody playing at a higher level, MLS Next, CCNL, can have a good game, can score 3 goals, can be save 2 penalties, regardless of your position. Everybody can do that. But doing consistently over 30, 35, 40 games a season, 10 seasons before you make it to pro, that is what is hard. That is what makes someone special. For that, I think hard work is something that will very apply into that consistency. If you are talented but not the most hardworking player, that talent will show sparks on a game or two, and you will shine that day or two. But a hardworking player, someone who gives everything in every single training session, that will show up on games by performing very well pretty much in every single game. So these are 2 attributes that I think every position, every player should have if you want to play for an MLS academy. Then in terms of position, then we can be here forever. Plus positions depends on the style of play of the academy. My type of striker might be Erling Haaland. Your type of striker might be Sergio Aguero. Smaller, faster. Maybe I want a bigger one. So I will not say a specific attribute per position because it depends on the style of play and depends on what the clubs are looking for. But it's things like consistency, hard working, respect, all the personal things that belongs to you. Those are things that that definitely applies into your performance for an MLS academy.
So if you, for example, are scouting a match of a player that is on the radar currently for Orlando City, what are some things that you look for in that player during match day? And then how long in the process will you continue monitoring that player until you invite him in for a trial?
If I watch a player live, what I'm looking for is what he does when he doesn't have the ball and reactions. Mostly because nowadays most of the players that I recruit, their games are on video. So if I want volume, if I want to see a player over 7, 8, 9, 10 games, I can see that on video. What is hard to see on video is what the player does when the camera is not focusing on him. Now the cameras on today's videos follow the ball. So if you're not on frame, I can't see you. So I want to know what's your positioning when you're far away from the ball. How do you react when you get fouled? How do you react when you get sub? How do you react when you get sub in? How do you react where something's happening on the field? How do you react to you having a bad game or if you're not receiving the ball often? Think all those personal things to you, and especially when you do not have the ball. If you're a good dribbler, I'm there to watch you. I already know you're a good dribbler because I already seen 5 or 6 games of you. If you're a good finisher, you're a good defender, all of that I should already know. and there to see what else can I not see on video, which is normally everything that is not physically or technically is hard to see on video. For example, psychologically, personality, and tactically, harder to see on video than something physical or technical. If you are fast, I will see that on video. If I see you flying on the video, okay, this kid's fast, strong, jump high. I would know that. I should be able to see that on video.
Okay.
What I won't be able to see is, I don't know, if you miss a chance, how you react. And are you actively looking for the ball immediately? Because again, in the camera, they will always follow the ball. So you're the striker and might not be seeing that. And then especially tactical positioning. No, are you in the right place at the right time most of the time, which is hard to see on camera.
So you would say that a player's attitude is a key part in your evaluation process?
Absolutely. Again, consistency, hard working, these are part that are important apart from your technical, tactical, and physical attributes. So if I don't get to see that on video, so when I'm watching a game in person, that does matter. If you're
Amazing.
creating if one of your teammates misses a chance and you go to him or her and be like, hey, next time, no problem, and you're supporting them, you're helping them, that's something that, caught any scout's eye when you're watching a game.
Amazing, amazing. Jose, could you describe to us what the pathway is for an academy player trying to break into the first team?
Yeah, no, our academy players normally get into the academy at some point between U12 and U18s. Some kids come super young, some kids are late developers, develop later, and we recruit them at the age of 16, 17. They normally the first year or two will be in the academy. It's really hard for us to sign a 15, 16-year-old player already to the second team. They all go directly to the academy, play in the academy, perform in the academy. And at Orlando City, we're lucky enough that we train at the same time as the first and second team. So we have 4 fields in the morning that are occupied. One is for the first team, one is for the second team, one is for the U18, and one is for a combination of U16s and U15s. So during those morning training sessions, you will get a chance to be called up to help the second team on a drill, first team on another drill. So in that situation, the coaches at the first and second team, they can already start seeing you. And then obviously they will reach out to the academy. Hey guys, who is performing well, who deserved it, who would be good enough for us. So the next step would be after they see you in practice, they already know that you can behave, that you can perform, that you're good enough. Because some players, it's not the same to be in the academy, being a 16-year-old kid that go to the first team with people who are making a good amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Music, the way you appear, or you're late, those things in the academy are already not acceptable when you're in the first team, forget it. So are you ready to be with 25 to 30-year-old guys who are, that's their profession while you're still a youth soccer player? So once all of that happens, then you will get minutes with the second team. You do well, you probably get minutes with the first team.
That's amazing. I think that's so important for younger players, especially to see what the next level is doing, because then they have an idea. And the fact that you guys at Orlando City let players jump into training sessions with, more experienced players, with the professional players in the second team and the first team is such amazing exposure for those younger players, trying to get to that level.
You have to, like, some players, staff as well. You get confident, you get cocky. Like right now, Orlando City is doing great. We all and nothing has happened yet. One of you're a U17, U18 player for us. You might be really good, but you don't know how good you are until they put you in front of 22-year-old guys who are already making money and put you in a rondo and you don't touch the ball for 5 minutes in the rondo. It's like, oof, that's the next level. Now there is always a next level.
It's definitely different when you are in it versus somebody telling you how it is. For sure. My next question for you, Jose, if you had a piece of advice for players between 9 to 13 years old, what are some things that those players can work on to get a chance to get a trial with, let's say, Orlando City?
Absolutely. That's when we start with positions and technique and all of that. So to me, from 3 years old to 6, I'm going to go 11 years ago. 3 to 6 years old, you should be working on coordination. Obviously, introduce the ball and make sure you're playing. But coordination is the most important part. Can you run? Can you turn? Can you jump? It seems easy, but at the end of the day, is something that you need, because from 6 to 10, you need to master the ball. is ball mastery. Is can you something that you were doing without the ball, running, turning, can you do it now, controlling a round thing that sometimes in the field is bumpy and crazy. So if you are not the most coordinated, it's gonna be tough. So 6 to 9, 10, you need to master, especially attributes that you can do already. And I say that for example, shooting is really hard to master at 6, 7, 8 years old for a simple reason: you're not strong enough. You're not strong enough to shoot from outside of the 18 with the inside part of your feet to curve the ball at 9. You don't have the strength. So do you need to work on that? No, you could probably start working on the movement, but without being frustrated because you don't have the physical strength to do it. Okay. But you can definitely master how to run with the ball with both feet, how to dribble, how to pass the ball. Same thing at 6 years old, maybe passing is hard. You play in a high grass, big ball. It might be a little challenging, but 8, 9, 10, you should be able to do it. Now, 10 to 13, the key part for me is now understanding, a little bit understanding of the game. The game, apart from being, you're attacking or defending, you have 4 moments, no? You're either attacking or defending, and you're either the player with the ball or no. And this is the thing that I need you to master when you are 10 to 13. If you're attacking and you're the player with the ball, run, pass, shoot, all of that. But you're attacking and you're not the player with the ball, how do I support my teammate? Do I make a supporting run? Do I give him a space? Do I stay out? All those little jobs that you have depending on the situation of the game. Same thing defending. If I'm defending the player with the ball, shall I delay him? Shall I just tackle him? I'm doing some actions that I need to do versus if I'm defending, but I'm not the player defending the ball. So am I covering? Am I providing balance to my team? So you start to understand, okay, what's the game situation right now and how I am an active player in that game situation. If you know all of that, by the age of 13, 14, you can start working on team tactics. How do we all press together? How do we all play out of the back? And then at the age of 16, 17, you learn how to win games.
Okay, amazing. Now, what would you say is one of the biggest mistakes that you see in a common mistake that you see for young players when they are on trial? Let's say with the academy, they impressed you, they did great outside, not in the academy system, and then they come in on trial. What are some common mistakes that you see for younger players?
I see one that is nothing they can do about is they're very nervous. The first time they come, especially the first day, they're very nervous. That's not a mistake, but it's something that happens often, that we know that, and we're okay with it. Normally from day 2 or 3, players start to show everything that brought them there. The biggest mistake that they could fix is you need to adapt to that level as quick as possible. You're playing MLS Academy, for the most part, should be a higher level than what you're currently playing. It should be, just because we should have the best players. So if we all do our job well, we will have the best players. And if we have the best players, that level is a little bit higher than yours. You need to adapt to that speed of play, physicality, technique as quick as possible. If you continue to do what you were doing in your club before, at the same speed that you were doing the club before, it might be good enough there. It won't be good enough here. So you need to act quickly. You need to play quicker. And then the professionalism can be late with us. You shouldn't be able to be late in your club either, but you definitely cannot be late for us. You cannot treat it as any other day. You need to be there and show you 120%. If you come on trial and you're too casual, we want to think that you don't want this. Like, you might be a casual player. You might be that Riquelme, number 10. Sure, just not this week that you're on trial. Just not this week. And this week you're here to show the player that you are. So you need to be at 120% every single day, every single training session.
And how important is the parents' involvement when trying to recruit a player into the academy?
Not important at all. I want them as away from the kid's life as possible. Once you are in MLS Academy, you don't have any power, say it that way. When you are in a pay-to-play club, you may have some power because you're a customer. You're paying for a service, so you feel like a customer. When you're in an MLS Academy, you don't pay anything. We pay for everything: trips, gear, everything, training, coaches, referees. We pay for it. We pick the bill. Because we pick the bill, we decide. So if you are an over-involved parent, That's not gonna go well for your kid. Now you can help your kid get those opportunities. You can help your kid by getting them into combines, tryouts, extra sessions. Absolutely, by all means, help your kid. But in terms of like being part of the day to day, when your kid is already in the academy, stay out, let the professionals do their job. We and every MLS academies have really good coaches. They know what they're doing. They're the best of the best. So let them let them decide what's the best for your kid and choose the best for them.
So I love that you touched on that. I think it's a big misconception sometimes here in the United States that they feel, I've seen a lot of social media comments where they think that MLS academies, every player has to pay an enormous fee. Could you just discuss a little bit more about that?
Of course, I cannot speak for the other ones, but I'm assuming it's the same for the ones that I know. It's pretty much the same. You don't pay anything. With the U12s, 13s, and 14s, they are only in charge when we travel because they're too young. So it's too young. They're 10, 11, 12, 13 years old kids. Coaches, we don't want the coaches to be supervising players that young. So parents still travel with the kids. So that's the only thing that they have to pay when we go to a tournament or when we go to an away game. Everything else, fees, zero, gear, zero, cleat, nothing. We pay for all. And U15 and older, we absolutely pay for everything, including their school, all these trips to now MLS Next Flex, the fest that we just came from, we pay for everything. So in that sense, now if that's a misconception, that's something that people need to understand. At MLS academies, you don't pay absolutely anything.
Wow, that's amazing to know. And now, Jose, when you are recruiting a player or you're interested in a player, do you like a player to be versatile, be able to play multiple positions, or to be really good at one position? Does it matter? Does it depend on the age?
It depends on the age. I would say at 9, 10 years old, 11 years old kids, I just want talent. I honestly don't care if you can. You should be able still to play around different positions. People should not put you in a box or you only a center back at 10, 11 years old. Now, when you get older, I would prefer a player who is really good in one than just okay in 3 or 4. Let me give you an example. My job as a head scout of Orlando City, my job is to recruit the best right back possible, the best 2 center back possible, the best left back possible, and the best goalkeeper possible. Okay. If you're a good center back and a good right back, sure you can have them in 2 positions, but you're just good. I'd rather have someone that's exceptional in right back and exceptional in center back, and I will be out there recruiting. Now, players, every roster has top players, good players, and roster players. Think of Man City. Erling Haaland is a starter. Julian Alvarez wasn't, so that's why he left. Some players don't, if as good as you don't get the minutes that you have because you may have someone ahead of you. So for me, my 6, 7 players have to be top. Then players 7 to 17 have to be really good and very good in one position. Players 18 to 22 that are not going to play a lot, I wouldn't mind those guys are versatile because with one player, I might be able to cover 3 or 4 positions. Let's say 2 or 3 positions are more realistic. But those are players that I know they're not going to play a lot. I just have them at the bottom of my roster. They're good players. They're good enough to be there, but I don't expect them to start. So now if I'm going, my head coaches are doing a lineup, the 11 players are going to be the best 11 players. Then the 3, 4 subs are going to be the next 3 or 4 best players. But you can always look at the bench and be like, if I need a right back, this guy can help me. If I need a wing, that guy can help me as a wing, as a 10. So you have options just in case something happens. But you're not number one option. And you should always want to be the number one option in any team you play. So my recommendation to anybody, if you want to make it to college or pro, is be the best player you can be in one position over just okay in 3. Now you're at 10 out of 10 in 3, great. But I'd rather one that is 10 out of 10 in 1 than one that is 8 out of 10 in 2 or 3.
Amazing. So that's actually interesting. So you kind of break down the rosters in your best first 7 players, then your 7 to 17, and then the rest. Now, do those first 7 players in your eyes, are they projected to maybe break into the second team or maybe break into the first team? And what is the difference? Like, what makes that player get to the first 7 for you?
No, absolutely. That way of the roster happens in every professional academy, every college. 7 players who get more scholarship, 7 players who get partial scholarship, 7, 10, and 7 players, and 8, 10 players who don't get any scholarship. Happens in college, happens in the pro level. You look at Barca, there are players, 6, 7, 8 players who make $10 million. Lewandowski, Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, 6, 7 players who make $3, $4 million. Not so bad, but not 10. 6, 7 players who maybe just came in out of the academy or they're not ready yet, that are in a lower salary. It happens in the pro level, it happens in the college level, it happens in the academy level. There are always players who are the ones who are expected to lead the team, the ones who are there to build the roster, and the ones who just kind of like at the bottom. What makes a player be a top? Again, that consistency in performance. All my players, every single one of my players in the academy, and we have over 110, they're all great. They're all great, but some of them perform well 7 out of 10 games. Some of them perform well 9 out of 10 games. So the ones who perform well 9, they will also have bad games. They're young, they're still learning. They will have bad games, of course, but they have 1 out of 10 instead of 3 or 4 out of 10. And that's why that one is a starter and has more potential than the other. It's also physical, technical, tactical attributes. Some players are better dribblers, better finishers, better defenders than others. So that will make you a special player. That will make you a top 7.
So I actually grew up similar in the DC United Academy, and one thing that always hit me was obviously the consistent need to perform. Do you guys currently work with players on the mental side just to be able to perform consistently with all the pressure that they feel on a daily basis?
We do. We have a mental coach as part of the academy, and in that sense, and among other things as well, we're still a little bit behind of professional academies in Europe or South America. They probably have more staff, not better, but more. Just in general, more psychologists, more mental coaches. We have one, and I think it's important to have at least one. It's just part of society how all players are. They have more inconsistency in their life. More families are getting divorced, for example. More players drop out of school, or players do not go to a regular school. They go to another. No, it's not online. It's a private online school at the facilities where we have teachers. But at the end of the day, you have only a couple of teachers, and you have your teammates as your only classmate. So you're missing the social skills that you might get in high school, which a mental coach can help you with. And then the pressure, obviously the pressure to perform, the pressure of potentially being released at the end of the season, the pressure of being not the pressure, but the sadness of being away from home, because some of our players are from out of state or even from Miami or Jacksonville, who are 3 hours drive. So they just move here and the families are not. So there's a lot of mental stress that can be on a player. So our goal is to help our players make it to be the best player they can possibly be. So if you're slow, I'll make you fast. If you're not technically good enough, I will make you technically good enough. And if you're under stress and then you have anxiety, you're sad, you're depressed, that impacts your performance too. And it's our responsibility to help you solve any problem you may have.
Amazing. That's amazing. I think it's so important. Now, Jose, with off-field factors, does that play a role in your evaluation for players? For example, how they present themselves on social media, maybe how they're performing in school. Is that something that you also look into?
It does. I'm not gonna not sign a player because you don't have a good social media presence, but I could not sign a player if you have a bad social media presence, doing things that you should not be doing. Same thing with the school. I probably won't sign a player because you only have 2.5 GPA. It's cool. You give me a talented player, it's a talented player, but it does apply into it. Why? Because at the end of the day, it shows everything that you do off the field are similar to what we would do off the field. You're good in school. You're already telling me that you're consistent in studying, that you're responsible, that you're smart. All of that, you can be smart on the field and non-smart off the field. And the other way around, you can be very smart off the field and have a very low soccer IQ. But it could correlate. The professionalism in social media, you present yourself professionally, it helps. It's like, okay, well, he's taking care of his personal brand, which means that he's going to take care of, doesn't mean that, but it could probably imply that he would take care of my brand. So every time you wear the Orlando City badge, you're representing us. You're representing the club, you're representing something bigger than yourself, you're representing an entity with 20,000 fans in the stadium every other weekend and a bunch of stars and academy, no? You're representing us. So if you represent us properly and professionally, that's something that applies, no? Saying that talent is the number one thing that we're looking for. But everything helps or everything cannot help you, be against you if you don't do it well.
Okay, amazing, amazing. And what would be the best way for an aspiring player to get into Orlando City? Like, how can they be seen?
Best way to be seen, I know it sounds bad, but is to play against us or in a league that we know. Because in this country, it's not the player's fault. I'm from Spain. In Spain, it's a very clear structure: first, second, third, fourth division. Here is not. Here you have MLS, ECNL, EDP, you have USL, UPSL, you have a bunch of leagues, a bunch of academies. But you send me a video and you're playing an MLS next competition where we play. I know the competition. I know where the level is. You show me a video of you scoring a hat trick against a team that I respect. Like, okay, I know that team. I know they're good. And this guy just put 3 on them. Cool. Now you show me a video and you're playing a very, very low level league. I don't know the league. I don't know the team you're playing against. I don't know anything about them. And you score 3. It's like, sure, bro. You put 3 on Virgin van Dijk or you put 3 on a player that is playing in the 5th division in England. It's not the same. So we don't have that clear structure. So it's hard for a scout to evaluate a player in a random league that nobody knows, or in random things that nobody knows. We just came from MLS Next Fest. No, every player there is already. I'm already applying. I'm already thinking he's a good player because you're playing in a very high division. Now you know all of them are good enough for me. Of course, no, but I know the league that you play. I know the low level that you are. And if I see you overperforming and performing every single game in that level, you might be ready for my level. But just because, and that happens in the pro level as well, just because you're the best player in 4th division in Spain, doesn't mean you're ready for 1st. But you're the best player in 4th division in Spain, any 3rd division team may take a chance of you because you're killing it in a level below. Now you're the best striker in 3rd division, some team in 2nd division will take a chance of you. And now you're the best striker in 2nd division, someone in the 1st division will take a chance of you. But it's a steady growth. Back to, we already mentioned Haaland, but I love Haaland. Back to Haaland, no? He was in Norway. He did very well. He didn't go directly from Norway to Premier League or La Liga because probably nobody wanted to take a chance of it playing in Norway. So he went to Austria, Red Bull Salzburg, okay? A team that play in a league that is a little bit better than Norway and also play the Champions League. That's great. Perfect. Now we go in Germany. Higher level than Austria, still not the Premier League or La Liga, but higher level. Now you play for Borussia Dortmund and you consistently perform and you're doing again very well at Borussia Dortmund, who plays in a very strong league and in the Champions League. Okay, this kid has done great in Norway, in Austria, in Germany. He's ready for Man City. But it's a process. Now, so if you're not playing right now in a league that is considered elite, and in this country we have a problem because there are more leagues with elite in their name than non-elite, which takes the name out of the equation. Now, what is actually elite or not? But if you're not playing at that level, it's really hard to evaluate how you're performing because scoring 50 goals in the Thailand Premier League doesn't make you ready for Barca. Just you might be, but it's hard to evaluate that because of the difference in levels and difference in quality. So you might be good enough, but it's really hard for a scout to evaluate you if you are.
Would those players that, let's say, do score that crazy amount of goals, would they ever be somebody that you would invite in for a trial just to see over like a 3-day period, let's say?
Yeah, but you also have to be respectful with our coaches. My coaches never have a problem when I bring a player on trial, but I'm assuming they want to start having problems if I bring 6 players on trial every week. They're going to be like, so just watch the player a little bit more before you just invite them. So I have to be respectful with them and their time, and they prepare a session for X amount of players, and I add an extra one that they don't know how to behave, they don't know how to react. So it's a new phase when they get to the office, when they get to their job. So you gotta be mindful and respectful with them. So we can't just bring players just to bring players. We scouts have to do our due diligence in making sure we bring the right ones. We make mistakes too, play make mistakes, we make mistakes too, but we try to minimize the number of mistakes by watching the play as much as we can on the field, off the field, gather those informations that we were talking about before, social media, great. Our job is to get as much info as possible on the player and then make the most rational decision based on all the information that we have. If a player is playing a very low league, we don't know anything about him, we haven't seen him perform at the higher level, it's really hard to jump the gun and be like, okay, come, maybe I'll wait. Nowadays, there's a lot of like combines, there's a lot of like USU National ID Center, ID2, there's a lot of ODP, there's a lot of kind of like pathways where you can be seen. Someone, if you're that talented, someone will see you. And then we recruit you.
Amazing, amazing. Because I do get a lot of questions of how can we be seen. So what would be your best advice for a young player trying to be seen? Would it be to attend these events?
Or to play, or to I don't want to recommend anybody to switch clubs, because depending on where your ambitions are, if you want to play soccer for fun and just for fun, stay where you are right now. If you want to make it to the next level, I will try to identify what level you currently are. And if you think you already outgrow that level, then tend to find the next one. The next one will most likely not be me, not be an FLS Academy, but find the next one. And once you're in there and you're still outperforming everybody else, find the next one and find the next one. Eventually, we will come to you. You don't have to come to us. If you're outperforming at a level that we know and we regularly see, we will go to you.
Amazing. Well, Jose, that is going to conclude our interview. No, thank you so much for joining us today. I learned a lot. I'm pretty sure our viewers are going to learn a lot as well. I am going to tag on the bottom your Instagram. So if you guys ever have any questions, check them out. And
Absolutely.
you might be the next Orlando City player.
I hope you are. I hope you are. We want the best, so we want to recruit them all.
Thank you, Jose.
Of course, thanks to you.
Nice.